Thank you po.
Ito, nung the transpose of the sum, is it equal to the sum of the transposes of A and B?
So, kung ano po yung A plus B, A plus, kung nga po A plus B, A plus B, A plus B, A plus B.
What do you think?
Yata po, yes.
Yes, all right. So that's true. So just checking. Halimbawa, there is a scalar, a number k multiplied to a matrix A. Then you take the transpose of that. Uh, on the right side, what expression can we write down which involves just the transpose of A? Is this going to be related to the transpose of A?
Opo, K times A transpose, a transpose of A.
All right. So nung case, it's gonna be multiplied kasi you're just you know, parang pinagpapalit ng mga rows and columns lang naman. Okay. All right. All right. So as far as just checking, and then as far as matrix multiplication is concerned, well, I mean, you did say that you are already familiar with uh the inverse of a matrix. Does every matrix have an inverse?
Ah,
Does every matrix have an inverse?
Wala po. Not
Sorry?
all. Not all of them po have a matrix.
An
Okay.
inverse.
Ano nung
Ang
mga walang
inverse.
inverse?
Ah, ano mo yung inverse? Yung criteria na po.
Hmm.
Oh, sige. Maybe let's just start with how would you describe the matrices with no inverse?
Pag yung ano, wait lang po. Yung determinant niya is wait lang. Zero ba? Yes, opo. When the determinant is
When
zero.
the determinant is zero. And also, the matrices which are not square to begin with.
Opo,
Di ba?
not square nga.
Ayan,
Tama
ayan.
po. Ano nga po.
Mga square matrices. Tapos kapag sa mga square matrices, if the determinant is zero, then for sure, walang ano yon, walang inverse. Okay. Are you familiar with, oh well, kasi you're talking, you mentioned the mga reduction to echelon forms. You're familiar with how we can convert a linear system of equations into a matrix equation. Are you familiar
Opo.
with that?
Opo.
Okay. Tapos, matrices can be used to analyze a linear system of equations, and they can be categorized as, halimbawa, no mga terms, some terms that are used are inconsistent.
Inconsistent
Inconsistent.
po.
Ano
Wala
ibig
siyang
sabihin nun?
solution.
Walang solution. Okay. And then, posibleng merong solution. Okay, but if there are solutions, and when we say solutions, halimbawa, it's a linear system of three equations in three unknowns x, y, z. When we say it has a solution, we're talking about an ordered triple x, y, z, which satisfies all the equations. Ano nung mga possibilities with regards to the number of solutions?
Sana yung tapos para say po infinite solutions. Kung nga po ba, parang x equals ganito, x equals 5, tapos yung 2x equals 10. Parang,
Mhm.
yun nga po, may mga ano, may mga ganun po na infinite solutions.
Okay, infinitely many solutions. Pero ang pinaka, I suppose, nung, I guess, ideal situation, it doesn't mean it has to happen all the time. If if there are finitely many solutions, pwede bang two solutions or three solutions or unique solution?
So po, yung mga unique solutions na, yun nga po, wait lang. At least one na unique solution.
Okay. So a linear system, if it is consistent, meaning there is a solution, either there will be infinitely many or the solution will be unique. Okay, so halimbawa, kung ano, meron kang nakuhang triple XYZ, tapos it turns out meron pang pangalawa, then actually that would imply there would be infinitely many. Okay. Is this something that you've encountered nung mga different possibilities with regards to the solutions of a linear system of equations?
Hindi ko po alam yun yung pagdadalawa po ang solution, baka infinite limit.
Oh, sige, sige. I was just trying to. Okay, okay, okay. So I figured we could look into no mga systems of equations. Yeah.
Umuulan po sa iyo, sir.
Uh, Ngayon, right now, actually no.
Ano?
Uh, Not right now.
Ito every afternoon po, malakas.
Minsan, minsan ganun na nangyayari pero parang a couple of weeks ago pero ngayon naman na
Ay,
dito
di
sa
na po.
amin. Actually, unlike last week na consistent ng ulan ngayon, or a couple of days, halos hindi.
Ay, sige.
Nag-let up na ang ulan. Kaya ba, magbubukas sa notes. Okay. So let's start. Linear na-adjust ko naman ang mouse. Ayun. Linear systems of equations. So let's start with ito, basic lang. So this example, x plus 2y plus 3z equals 9, and then 2x minus y plus z equals 8, and then 3x minus z equals 3. I know, of course, posible namang isolve ito without using any matrices, pero well, we want to see how we can analyze systems of equations using matrices. Now, this system can be transformed into a matrix of coefficients, diba? 1, 2, 3, 2, -1, 0, 3, 1, -1. And then, I would say itong vertical line, pwedeng hindi isulat, but I think it's convenient to write it down. So ito nung matrix of coefficients. And then we can perform Gauss-Jordan reduction or Gaussian reduction, or maybe your reference, the one that you've seen so far, uses slightly different terms, pero yun typically ng mga nag-appear. Gaussian elimination. Ganun din ang ginagamit nyo, tama ba?
Opo.
All right. So, ganito, you're comfortable with that kasi dun sa reduction so that I don't have to do it anymore?
Yung
Or
sana po,
gawin na din natin?
pwede
How
po.
about at least for the first, let me do the nung reduction. So ito, what I
Pwede
will
niyo po
do
pala
is,
po i-send po yung yung OneNote link po para makapag-update.
sorry, what's that?
Yung link po ng OneNote para maano po.
Oh,
Ah,
okay, okay.
pwede
Right,
din
right,
siya
right. Sige. Um, copy link, and then I'll send it to Facebook. I do have a problem with, so see what I did? I just click copy link. I've had this problem since last week, and it says link copied, but ito, I'm gonna paste. Nung Zoom mo, hindi niya nakakopy. It says it's copying, but it can't.
Oh.
So right now, I can't forward this. Gagawin ko, I'm gonna open my other laptop, and I'm gonna access OneNote from there, and from there I can copy the link and send it to you from that other laptop. But for now, are you gonna be able to manage? So, I mean, don't have to write it down. Pero, the procedure is something you're familiar with naman, right?
Opo.
Okay, ito, just so I'm able to show you nung process ko. -2 times row 1, I'm gonna add it to row number 2. So row 1 is still 1, 2, 3, and then 9, then 0, then -4 minus 1, -5. Do check what I'm doing ha kung mali. 1 minus 6 is -5, 8 minus 18, -10. And then -3, row 1, plus row 3, 0, -6. Hold on, just checking. -9, and then some -10. And then -27 plus 3, -25. And then nung row number 2, so Monday lang to, -1/5, row number 2. So 1, 2, 3, 9, 0, 1, 1, 2. And then might as well, walang common factor nung row number 3. So 0, -6, -10, -25. Tell me kung may mali sa algebra ha. And then if you want to ask something. And then finally, nung itong 1 naman ang gagamitin natin to eliminate, ito nung kanina ginamit natin ng 1 there in row 1 to eliminate itong 2 and 3. Tapos itong 1 to eliminate 2 and -6. -2 row 2 plus row 1. 1, 0, 1, 5, and then 6, row 2 plus row 3, 0, 0, -4. 6 times 2 is 12, minus 25, -13. Ha, I feel may mali dito sa, sa ginawa ko. Can you pinpoint if I made a mistake somewhere?
Hindi po. So, -2,
Because I'm expecting to get integer values for x, y, and z.
2,
I feel dito sa third row.
5.
Oh, it's not -25. 3 minus 27 is -24. So -12. Ayun.
Ayun, intention na po.
Okay. So in fact, I I could stop here at the next step. So 1, 0, 1, and then 5, and then 0, 1, 1, 2, and then 0, 0, 1, 3. Okay. So just so for the record, this thing that I did, Joshua, is this clear? Something you're familiar with?
Opo. Yung
Yeah.
you're allowed to interchange the rows, tas you can multiply them with
Okay.
any constant.
Mga row operations, tapos add a multiple of one row to another row. Okay.
Opo.
But the conclusion we get out of this is that z is equal to
Libo.
3, right? And then from the second equation, that's the same as saying y plus z equals 2. So because we know the value of z, which is 3, y is equal to -1. And then the first row is telling us that x plus z is equal to 5. So because z is equal to 3, then that means x equals 2. So we have the unique solution to -1, 3. Okay, so x, y, z equals 2, -1, 3. And what we have here is a unique solution. All right. But this all came to pass because in the last row, what we got was 0, 0, and then 1, and then we got a number, so 3, but in general, it could be B. So this implies that the last, let's say the columns are for x1, x2, all the way to x sub n. In the equation system that I gave, n was equal to 3, and the variables were x, y, and z. So what happened here is that x sub n is equal to b. And it may happen that this specific value of x sub n will allow us to solve for well, the value of z allowed us to solve for x and y. Now, what other possibilities are there? Okay, so instead of giving you a system of equations, let's just have a look at the corresponding um, parang finished product. After performing the row operations, suppose we ended up with something like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, and then 0, 1, 2, 3, -1, 7, and then two more rows: 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, again another 7, and fourth row, this will be the last: 0, 0, 0, 1, 2, 9. In this case, what do you think is the state of the solutions? Will there be, is the system inconsistent, meaning there's no solution? Or is there a unique solution? Or are there infinitely many solutions?
So, basta yung ano po, so yung last equation nga po mag-translate to parang a plus 2b is equal to 9. So, there definitely,
The variables are, ano, gawin natin, x, y, z, and then u, v, w, v, w. Ayan, para pareha tayo ng tinitingnan letters.
sige po. So y plus 2z is equal to 9.
Mm-hmm.
So, sa una rin naman, x plus y plus z is equal to something. So, mm-hmm.
So how many solutions are we going to have? A 0, 1, or infinitely many?
Diba i-solve yan. So, kung isa-subtract yung ano naman, gagawin pong try gawin zero. Ha? So, there definitely are infinitely many nga po solutions for yung last equation.
Infinitely many solutions. And
So,
have you ever encountered in your studies one well, because there would be more than one way to represent the infinite many solutions, but is that something that you have done, you've seen? So, okay, there are infinite many solutions, but then it should be possible to at least capture or describe all those solutions. So one way is to set the last variable z to be equal to let's say r. Tapos the last equation, because it means y plus 2z equals 9, then that means y is equal to 9 minus 2z or 9 minus 2r. And then the second, actually, ganito, no? It would be easier if I use the lowest one, in particular, actually itong one na to, and 1, to eliminate all the other entries in their column. Okay, so ito, I'm gonna use negative 2 times the second row and add it to the first row. So 1, okay, hold on, 0, 1, 2, 3, negative 1, 7, and then 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 7, then 0, 0, 0, 1, 2, 9, and then negative twice row 2 plus row 1, so that's going to make the 0, 3 minus 4, negative 1, 4 minus 6, negative 2, 5 plus 2, 7, 6 minus 14, negative 8. Okay, now let's use ito, we've used this one to take care of this two. Now let's use this one to take care of this two and also that negative one. So row 3 add to row 1. So row 3, let me copy it. 0, 0, 1, 2, 3. 7 here. 0, 0, 0, 1, 2, 9. Okay, row 3 plus row 1. 1, 0, 0. Oh, 0 as well. 10, negative 1.
okay,
And
ano
then
po, also,
negative 2, row 3 plus row 2. 0, 0, 0. 3 minus 4, negative 1. Negative 1 minus 6, negative 7. And then 7 minus 14, negative 7. And finally, let's use this one to take care of this 2 and that negative 1. Okay, I hope my algebra is so far okay. Or actually, it's arithmetic. So row 4 added to row number 2. We're okay na dun sa row number 1 eh. 1, 0, 0, 0, 10, negative 1, then 0, 0, 0, 0, 2 minus 7, negative 5, 9 minus 7, wait, 9 minus 7, 2, and then oh wait, and then negative twice, negative 2r4 added to row number 3. 0, 0, 1, 0, 3 minus 4, negative 1, 7 minus 18, negative 11, and then here 0, 0, 0, 1, 2, 9. Eh, hold on. Tama ba to? Mm,
Parang nalaglag pa yung 1.
and that could happen, okay lang. Pero can you check kung tama nung algebra? So,
Hindi nga po, bakit po nalaglag yung 1 po dun sa second po?
okay, so you have A, B, C, D. Where is the mistake you're seeing? A
From
in
B to,
A?
from B to C po, yung sa
Ah,
the value of W in the second row just change to 0 po.
okay. Here,
Opo.
the second row. So let me check para sigurado. Row 3 plus row 1. So 0, 0, 7, plus 3, 10, 7 minus 8, -1. Okay. Ito, negative twice, -2 of row 3 added to row number 2. 0. Oh, okay. So, well, this should be 1. Pero hindi lang yun, di ba?
Opo. So, yung
1. House row number 2. Anong entry nung mali pa?
parang tama na yata po. So,
Tama na, no? Okay. But that means, i-check natin to, ang last. Oh, okay. All right. So anyway, assuming this is true, assuming this is correct, what we could do is, with the variables being VW, X, Y, Z, we could choose to do the following. Let Z be equal to R. Let Z be equal to R. Okay. And then if you look at the last equation, it's telling us that Y plus Z equals 9. So that means Y is equal to 9 minus R. And then the third equation, X minus Z equals -11. And Z is R, so that means X is equal to -11 plus R. And I think you
opo,
would.
yung y plus d po equals 9. Dapat di ba po y plus 2z?
Oh, yeah. Y plus 2Z. Right. Okay. So 9 minus 2R. Okay. And then how about W? W is 2 plus 5R. And then V is -1 minus 10R. Okay. V is -1 minus 10R. So in this case, what happened is that we have infinitely many solutions. And the reason why we have infinitely many solutions is because the value of z can be replaced by any number. And in turn, if z is given the value r, and the value of r is arbitrary, we've shown here that, oh, hey, v, w, x, and y can also be expressed in terms of r. And so for a given value of r, that leads to quintuple of values v, w, x, y, z. So we have infinitely many solutions. All right. Ano pa nung mga possibility for there to be infinitely many solutions? Ito, magsusulat na lang ako ng, ng isa pang example. Okay. I think I'll just go ahead and write down ng ganitong form where it's already been reduced as most as we could, as best as we could. Let's say we ended up with the following. Say 1, and then let's say we have here 0, 0, 1.
So yung pivot din po na farther back pa.
And of course, it could happen, right? 0, 0, 0, 1. That's the 0, 0, 0, 0. And then we have 1, 2, tapos kunwari, okay, 9 ulit. Tapos dito, syempre, nung columns with a 1 there, everything else can be 0. Dito naman, let's say, -1, -5, -10, and then -1 to -11. And we have more variables this time. So you have X, Y, Z, and then U, V, W. How many solutions do we have?
How many solutions? So, isip na po yung last. Yung last equation. Tapos,
Actually, let's make this a little bit more
lalaman na po yung
exciting. Let me turn this 0 here into a -3. Kita mo yun nung first row, immediately after 1, it's a -3. And there's nothing more we could do with that -3 because all the other entries in column number 2 are all zeros. There's no 1 here. Ito 0, 0, 0. None of them can kill this -3. So that -3 stays as it is.
So, clear na po yung last equation, infinite number of solutions. So, yung next two column, next two rows above it, ano rin po, infinite solutions din. Sabi yung sa taas, solve, 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 solve. My, yes, I think po, infinite solutions din yung sa taas.
Well, actually, when we describe when we count the number of solutions, it refers to the whole system. So it refers to the whole system. So halimbawa, well, what happened up there in the previous is that we had the flexibility to let Z be equal to R kasi the column for Z is the only column with no leading one. The columns for V, W, X, Y, they had these leading. Well, actually, I should look at the very last. Ito pala yun, no? The column for Z had no leading one, but V, W, X, Y, their columns had leading ones. In this next example, the leading ones occur only for U, W, X, and Y.
Wala po for V.
Well, none for V and Z, which means that V and Z can be assigned any value. And the thing is, they don't even have to be the same. For example, let's say we assign R, let V be equal to R and Z be equal to S. How can we express Y in terms of R and S, one or both of them? Y is equal to what?
So, y nga po is equal to 9 minus 2r, to 2s.
2S. X is?
And then x
So,
is,
nung Z is R,
so,
Z is S.
so ano ba siya? -11 plus s. And then w, -2,
Or 2, yung W.
2 pala po. Plus 5s.
Okay. How
And
about
then
U?
2 is, okay, so -1 minus, minus, wait, plus 10s, tapos on, plus 10, plus 3, or 3r, yun po.
Ayan. All right. So, one thing is clear here. We have infinitely many solutions again.
Mm.
infinitely many solutions. How about uh, if the system of equations was, wag na tayo magpatumpik-tumpik pa. Kunwari, this is what happened. 1, 2, 3, 6, and then 0, 1, 2, 4, and then 0, 0, 1, 0. Of course, we can use this particular leading one and this leading one to take care of all the other non-zero terms in their column. But does the system corresponding to this latest example, does it have a solution?
1 is equal to 0. Okay, so yun po is equal to 0. And then, so 2 times 0. So 1 din, yes. To solve na siya.
So x, y. Oh wait, hold on,
0.
hold on, hold on, hold on. Sorry, sorry.
Magkasama po siya.
That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. Okay,
Ah,
sorry.
0,
This
1
is
po,
what
0, 1.
I meant. Okay, sorry.
0,
0, 1.
Okay, so clearly that's not true po. That's impossible.
Okay. So x, y, z. So this has no solution. Okay. So how it so going back to no argument, why can't there be two solutions? Okay, kasi these three, well, I actually don't have three, but I have four. Okay, so you have the first example, unique solution, the second and the third, infinitely many solutions. But I wanted to present the third to point out that the infinitely many solutions can be due to not just because of a single letter that can be assigned a value, but it could be, as you or we're able to see here, two letters, R and S. And the values of V and Z don't have to be the same. They can be different for all you care. And for every pair of R and S, what we would get would be a corresponding collection of values for the other variables U, W, X, Y. But even if it was just one letter, which can take on infinitely many values, then infinitely many solutions. And then in this latest example, there is no solution. Okay? So, paano nung argument? Well, either merong solution or wala. And the situation that arises when there is no solution is similar to this very last example. So kunwari nakuha natin one row, 0, 0, 0, and then it's all zeros, and then a number b where b is not equal to 0. And it doesn't matter whether it's in the last row. In fact, it could happen in more than one row. Pwede, halimbawa, you encounter 0, 0, 0, 3, 0, 0, 0, 4, and then 1, -2, and then 0, 5. Okay. So you're going to have an issue with the second row and also with the third row. But the issue with the second row, the problem there is enough to conclude that there is no solution. So now, assuming we don't have that. So let's assume we don't have that kind of situation. Okay? Assuming hindi ganun nung problema. So if the linear system is what if we have a row na lahat 0, 0? Kapag,
Can be disregarded
so
po.
wait. So ito, oh yeah, it could be disregarded. Pero ito, let me point out, this is impossible. But let's say we have 0, 0, 0, and then 0, and then 0, then this could be, kumbaga, yes, you're right. That's what you said, diba? Can be disregarded.
If anything meaningful, kasi 0 is equal to 0, everybody knows the cost.
All right, can be disregarded. Kumbaga, we don't get any additional information based on this. Okay? So, assuming, kunwari, i-ignore natin ng mga rows like that which can be disregarded. Okay? Suppose the system is consistent. And then, ano nung mga pwedeng mangyari? Let's say we have um, n leading ones and n variables. Okay, so mangyayari, actually, because there are n leading ones and n variables, meaning before the vertical bar, there are n columns. And if there are n leading ones, then mangyayari, it must be a diagonal of ones. It must be a diagonal of ones. And then in this case, there would be a unique solution. There must be a unique solution. Ngayon, another scenario is halimbawa you have so parang in the end the issue is going to be based on the number of leading ones you have and how many variables there are. So ito, let's say we have n leading ones and m variables. If m and n are the same, well, we've already accounted for that in that first bullet point. In this second bullet point, suppose that the number of variables m is greater than m, meaning before the vertical bar, m is the number of variables is the number of columns, and then the leading ones would correspond to the number of rows. Or, well, unless may mga rows having zeros. Okay, so kunwari, ganito, meron tayong 1, tapos 1, and then, pero kasi ibig sabihin nito, if you have n leading ones and m variables, this would mean there would be, okay, there is a column with no leading one. Okay? Magkakaroon ng column without a leading one. Okay? Kasi the number of columns, the number of variables, and by columns, we mean columns except the last. No, after the vertical bar, we're not excluding that.
Okay.
So, ba mangyayari ganito? We have itong column na to, all zeros. Tapos, let's say, merong dito na nung next na 1. Okay. If a column, well, it doesn't mean that it's all zeros kasi pwedeng halimbawa dito sa taas, it could be -3, right? It could be something not zero. But as you can see, in this particular column, there is no leading one. And because there is no leading one, that variable for that column can be assigned a parameter, which can take on any value. And we saw that happen in the second example. In particular, if you look at this example, you see that, hey, the fifth column, the one for Z, it's got no leading one. And then here in the third example, the columns for V and Z don't have any leading ones. And as soon as you have a column with no leading ones, the variable there can be assigned a variable, and that would mean there would be infinitely many solutions.
So kung no solution pala po, there's only one situation that could happen, which is ngayon 0, 0, 0 equals B.
Sorry, what's that?
So the only no solution po for any matrix at all, yung 0, 0 equals B and
Yeah, yes. Because assuming the system is consistent, as you can see here, it doesn't matter anymore what you have in the very last column after the vertical bar. So ito na lang. Let's say we have n leading ones and m variables. With this time, let's say m is less than n. Wait, is this no to. Let's say m is equal to the number 2 and n is equal to 3. So m, let's say two variables, let's say x and y, and then we have three leading ones. Sorry, n is the number of, but wait, is that even possible? Wait, hold on. So three leading, wait, m variables, two columns. So m variables. So let's say x and y, and then three leading ones. Is that possible?
So that means there are two columns. And there's three leading. Maybe kung marami pong interrelating equations. Pero, one,
So I'm thinking, let's say you have 1, 0, and then 0, 1, and then 0, 1. Tapos, pero kasi, this one can kill this one there.
pero kung ano po, kung,
Pero in this
so,
case, there are still two leading ones instead of three leading ones.
so it's impossible po. Ganun lang.
Oh, diba? So, this is sus. Okay. Okay. So as you can see, okay, point being, we have looked into what can happen, and we see that these are the three states. Either the system is inconsistent, there's no solution, or there is a unique solution, or there are infinitely many solutions. So this goes back to what I was claiming earlier. If for a linear system, you're able to specify at least two different solutions, then that forces us to this last option, which is that there must be infinitely many solutions. Okay? So parang if you think logically, ano na lang ng mga possibilities, yun na lang yun eh. Okay. Hmm. So example, find all values of the constant A so that the system has I, so solution. Then part 2, a unique solution. And then 3, infinitely many solutions. And the system of equations is the following. X, and then X, and then X plus Y plus 2Y plus Y, and then plus here in the third, A squared minus 5, that's the coefficient of Z. In the second, the coefficient of Z is 1, so this is just plus Z. And in the third, it's minus Z. And then on the other side, it's 2, 3, A. Okay, so
So
A
yung,
is a mysterious number. If you change the value of A, then that corresponds to a different system of equations. And a system of equations can be any of those three states. So which it is going to be, no solution, unique solution, or infinite many solutions, will depend on the value of A. Would you like to give it a shot first?
let's say yung, mapapatay ng row 1, yung first
Mhm.
element ng row 2, and the first two
Okay.
elements of
How
row
about you
3.
try doing that while I try to give you access from my other laptop?
Opo. So, 0, 0, 0, 1. Okay, so x, y. So that's 1, 1. And then there's a mysterious coefficient. So, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 3. A squared minus. So, if A is 0, then if B is 0, then 0 equals 0. So Z is 0. It will have finite solution. If A is positive greater than 5, then algorithm square root of or less than it. Wait, or less than the negative. Okay, so that means so has infinite number of solutions. Is it? Mm, no. So still means it has a solution. If A is if A is what? Oh no. If A is the square root of 5, that's 0, 0. Okay, so that's no solution. Hmm. Uh, when it has infinite dimension solutions, I do not know. I don't think that's possible. It either has ano nga po, it either has no solution or a unique solution.
So you're saying the scenario where there is no solution doesn't exist in this particular
It exists po.
system.
Yung situation where it has infinitely many solutions does not exist po.
Okay.
Oh, wait. May kamali pala po ako. So,
Okay.
there, I think I slipped up on the arithmetic. So, you think, oh. Mhm. So, 0, 0, yes. So, 0, 0, 0, 0. Solution, yes. Okay, so there's a solution. There's a point where a squared minus 5 is equal to 0. And that would mean a is non-zero. Units. So there is a value na tama. I think so. Sigurado ako. There must be a real solution. So, kung ano naman, it's not true, then it has a unique solution. Yes. And then, yun lang po. Parang I think there's a situation, there's a very unique situation where it has no solution. And there are many others, maybe all, I think all of the other situations po, is a unique solution. But there is no situation where it has infinitely many
Oh,
solutions.
okay.
Mm.
Want to get the link sent. Can you give me the final parang reduced form? Okay, the first column, I suppose it's one here, and then they have 0, 0 below it.
Saan nga po yan eh?
Wait, wait.
Ay,
Ayun. Okay, kalag yun na. And not copy it. Copy link. Okay, link copied. And, and yeah, parang this is a problem with it. Ayun, yeah. Oh, okay, hold on. The other version of OneNote. Reset loading. That's it. Ayun. See if this works. Ayun. Can you try that if it works? I sent something. I hope it works.
ay SharePoint. So, apparently po, it says that didn't work. We're sorry, but can't be found on directory. Oh, so hindi na po pala parang siguro yung Ateneo naglagay po sila na ano for yung you need to be your email needs to be in some sort of database.
Huh?
Meron daw pong parang can't be found on the blank directory. So, sabihin,
Posible po, sir, na mag-unshare kayo tapos mag-share kami ng void.
wait, meron po kayang, itong aming account.
Kami account.
Maybe,
Ganito,
to,
ganito na ano. Require user to sign in. Maybe try na lang natin ng ano. Ito
sige
view
po.
link. Anyone with the view link can view this document. Or uh, ito, second one. Can you try that? The latest.
Wala mo. So it still doesn't work. Maybe I can
What does it show?
when it still says what that didn't work, blah blah blah. So it can't be found on the directory. So try ko kung wala po in incognito, maybe it could show up.
Yeah.
Oh, it's asking me to sign in po. So it means there must be some sort of account. Maybe kailangan po ng ano, yeah. Pero pag nag-login po kasi para matatanggal po yung lahat mo ng iba. Yung lahat po ng ano, everything else mo sign out.
Posible ba kaya sorry na kunyari mag-unshare kayo tapos mag-share si Joshua tapos palit-palit? Hindi.
Okay, okay lang. Yeah, that's all right.
Feature yan.
Parang this is um
Para makonsider.
so siguro nagbago nung Ateneo pero I just wanted to figure it out kasi I was thinking baka the issue is not the Ateneo constraints or security pero baka kasi baka I'm hoping baka ang problema ay nung OneNote ko lang. So gusto ko muna ma-eliminate 'yon. So, if you don't mind, tatry ko lang ng mga iba't ibang options kasi parang halimbawa kanina I had to untick some of the options regarding sign in. So, wanted to try it out first. So, ito, anyone with a view link can view. Ito. Is it the same? Can you try the third? This is the third na so far.
Siguro baka may ano po, sana. Okay, so send ko po sa inyo yung screen na po. Baka, tabuhan ko na po kung mas screen.
Sige, sige. Yes. Click here to sign in. Ateneo, mysharepoint.com. Wait, what if I share it? Get the sharing link, share with people. Okay. Is the email address correct? Jesus and Foods
Opo.
14 at gmail.com. The email address is correct.
Yes po.
Okay.
Baka send niyo po directly po sa email.
Let's see if it share. Okay. So, paano kaya yan? Did it send something to that email? Can you try?
Ano daw po, sinabi daw po ni Microsoft, ano daw? Ano po, I think it's sending. But it's not. Share with people. Share with people. So far, I think it's not sending po kasi matagal na. Wala naman po na send. Website.
Kasi, I opened a different browser and this browser is, well, Microsoft Edge and I'm not logged in. Kasi alam ko sa Google,
Huh?
kunwari di ba sa Chrome, nung sa Chrome, it checks your Google
Oh!
account eh. Pero ito, I'm using Microsoft Edge.
So, di po kayo
And
nakalagin and you can
I'm not
access it.
logged in. Okay, but here, see, I can
Oh,
access.
nakapasok na po ako.
Nakapasok ka na?
Opo.
Wow! Oh, so, yun. Okay, yay. So, yeah. Okay, so now you can access.
Opo.
All right, all right, all right, all right.
So, ano po yung current is here. So, there. So, I think I can write maybe. I can't write. Nakasulat lang po, read-only section, RIP. So, I can
Ah,
actually what is
wait, wait,
read-only.
wait, wait. Ano natin? Edit link naman. We're gonna do it. Pero, sige, we just, want to do it right once. So, ito, I'll send a messenger. And I thought gusto mo na ipadala nung view muna. Tapos kung kaya nang ma-view, then saka natin check
Opo.
how we can edit. So ito, I tried, I sent a new link. Let's hope it works.
Tang, 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 tang. Loading. Loading. Hmm. Seems like it's loaded already po, but it's not showing up. Still says loaded.
Mhm.
Yun na po. Reload ko lang. Okay, so nag-load na po siya.
Sorry,
Ah,
baka it's an internet issue.
problema.
Ito po, kinonect ko na po directly.
Dadada, dadada, dadada.
How about ito na lang, while we're giving it a chance to load, can you dictate to me, okay lang, first column?
Ito pala po. Pwede po ko muna mag-share. Share ko lang po muna.
Oh, sige,
Ay,
gawin natin.
internet connection is unstable.
Balik lang.
So, ito po.
Oh, okay, okay. Nasulat mo na, nasulat mo na. Good, 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 good. Okay. Okay, see there, when a squared minus 4 is equal to 0, there's no solution. Joshua, not necessarily.
Oh
Kasi
no.
what if a
Ala,
minus 2 is
zero,
also...
zero, zero bro po.
Mm,
Hmm.
you have a non-solution if you have a non-zero there, where a minus 2 is listed.
And what's my ampersand so ugly? So, a minus 2 is not equal to 0. I think there's a solution for that. It's negative 2. Ayun mo. Hmm.
So in other words, wait, 0 and sorry, when a minus 2 is non-zero. So in other words, when a is equal to negative 2, no solution. But hold on, we gotta explore Joshua. What if it's all zeros?
Opo, pero when a is equal to negative 2, then a minus 2 is equal to negative 4.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not 0. Pero
If
kung
zero
A
zero
naman po is
zero
2,
four, so problema yon. No solution.
opo. Pero kung A naman po is equal to 2, then 0, 0, 0, 0, 0.
Mm-hmm.
So that's infinitely many solutions. Oh, no. Okay.
Yes.
Yun nga po, when
Okay.
infinitely many solutions. Ano nga po siya pala? Yun po.
When a squared minus 4 is 0 and a minus 2 is equal to 0, so kunwari naman when a is equal to 2, then there would be infinitely many solutions. And is it clear that there would be infinitely many solutions? Because the third column, the column for z, can be assigned, well, z can be assigned a free variable. Yes? So
Opo.
in that case, can you write down, can you solve the system? So yeah, in this case, when there are infinitely many solutions, show me the solution.
Yun po.
Or 2 minus 1, so 1 plus 3 r for x.
Ah, 2 minus 1 pa lang. Okay.
Yeah,
Ah,
okay.
forgot about ano. I forgot basic.
And then, so we've seen that when a is equal to 2, there are infinitely many solutions. When a is negative 2, no solution. What about all the other values of a?
Unique solution po.
Unique solution, because then you're gonna have for z a leading one, also for y, and also for x.
Opo.
Okay? So ikaw na lang maglagay nun. When a is not equal to plus or minus 2, there will be a unique solution.
Um, na, I forgot the ano po the
Gamma negative 2. Okay. Ayan. When a, I should mas malinaw, when a is not 2 and also a is not equal to 2, the system has a unique solution.
system. Okay. So that's it. System.
Okay. All right. All right. So nice, nice. Okay. Then, is it your first time to do an exercise like this? I suppose yes.
Opo.
Okay. So ayan ang ano nung I thought where we could add some value to what you're doing now. I'm gonna go back, but I have to admit that unfortunately it hasn't refreshed yet. But I anticipate later on it's gonna refresh.
Oh,
So is there let me see if there's a way to sync this. Printer settings, then notebook, and then hold on. Joshua Soliman. And sync. Check nga natin. Sync this notebook para i-force. Kaso nga lang, it should automatically sync. That's the idea behind. Okay. Naka-X pa rin, no?
process. So mga po, this is a function, but it doesn't do this intended
Oh, yan,
function.
yan. Nagsisync na. But eventually later, it will. Ganito lang. Maglalagay na lang ako ng ano, ng, mag-iwan na lang ng space for when it, what say you? Is this enough or should I go lower?
Lower po ako. Just to be
Estimate mo
sure.
na lang.
Mm. So I can see po yung color of the pen, so I know what this is.
And then, pero
So
yun nga, estimate mo based on the marking that I'm showing you in the displayed screen.
medyo
Ibaba pa natin.
mababa po.
Ibaba. Aba here.
Ayan po,
Bakit
ano,
ganyan cool? Okay na. Sige.
ano po.
Okay. Let me give a definition. Have you encountered the term rank of a matrix?
Rank of a matrix. Hindi po, pero I think it should be parang rank and file.
Okay. Definition. Okay. The rank of matrix A is the number of non-zero rows in its REF. If I ask you to guess, what do you think is REF?
It's reduced echelon form po.
Right? It's reduced echelon form.
So it means po there is file naman po, the number of non-zero columns. Means REF.
The non-zero columns can be expressed actually in terms of the rank, but for so we have a working
Ah,
definition that's also going to be available to other mathematicians. The rank is the number of non-zero rows. Pero the number of pero kasi we have to be careful with the number of non-zero columns kasi it's not enough eh. Halimbawa here, dito sa as you can see in this example, di ba we were able to assign three parameters R and S to V and Z, but the column for V isn't a column of zeros kasi merong -3 doon eh. But what really matters is the fact that we have four leading ones. And because you have four leading ones, it means that there are four non-zero rows. So itong example na to, the rank here is the rank is 4. Okay, I mean it could happen that the rank is something else, pero okay, the rank of a matrix is a number of non-zero rows in its reduced echelon form. Okay, wait, no mouse stuck. Ito, let me copy this example. Okay, so let me refer to um, this this matrix. Ito, bibilugan ko. I'm gonna refer to this as the matrix A. A matrix of coefficients. Because the numbers you're seeing here are the coefficients that are going to be applied to u, v, w, x, y, and z. So what's given here is a system, linear system, A, and then the variables u down to z, and then the column -1 to -11, 9, ito nung column vector. Wait, sobrang iniipit ko. Are you familiar with writing down a system of linear equations as a matrix product? Have you encountered that?
So like, ano po yung upper diagonal order,
No,
lower
no, no, no,
triangle.
no, not that. Ito, for example, itong system na to.
Sa product of two matrices po. So like, Kramer's rule.
Not Kramer's rule, pero ito. This can be expressed in the following way. 1, 2, 3, 2, -1, 0, 3, 1, -1,
That's
times
why,
the vector
that's why,
x, y, z
yes po. Na-encounter
equals
ko na po.
9, 8, 3. Yes? Does
Opo.
that match?
Opo.
Okay. Kasi when you do the multiplication on the left side, the first row will be 1 times x plus 2 times y plus 3 times z. And that should be equal to 9. And then on the left side, the second row, 2 times x plus -1 times y plus 1 times z should be equal to 8. So this can be written in a more compact manner as a, and then actually x, pero sa books, nilalagay yan as boldface to represent ito. Ito nung x. Pero kasi the reason why it's okay to use x is kasi in general, this x could refer to x1, x2, all the way to x sub n, where you have n variables. It's just that if there are three variables, we're accustomed to using x, y, and z. And then this column matrix is B. So ultimately, when you have a linear system of equations, we could write it down as ax plus b.
So yung sa books po, ginagamit po na boldface. Pero how do you represent that in writing?
Ah, vectors, vector notation with an arrowhead above. Although in my case, if it's clear from the context, sinusulat ko na lang x na lang and then b.
Opo.
Okay. So ito, let's say we're given a linear system, ax equals b. ax equals b. So what I encircled, the matrix with entries 1, -3, 0, 0, 0, -10. That's the matrix of coefficients A. And okay, A is the coefficient matrix. The whole matrix, on the other hand, for convenience, in the theorem I'm going to write down, let's call it A sharp. A sharp is the matrix you get from writing down A, and then for the last column, the vector, the column vector B, nung -1 to -11, 9, and I'm gonna refer to this as the augmented matrix. So ayun, augmented matrix. Now, A and A sharp are, well, not exactly the same. Okay, but they're gonna be related to each other. But because they're not the same, their ranks may be different. Ito, for example, let's have a look at for A and A sharp above, what's the rank of the coefficient matrix A?
So the coefficient matrix A, 1, 2, 3, 4.
4.
Kind of,
What's the rank of the augmented matrix A sharp?
it's still purple.
It's still 4. Okay, tingin tayo dito sa ito, this example for which there is no solution.
Okay. So, kakaiba pala
Okay.
po dun. So, yung
So
rank,
what's the rank of A and what's the rank of A sharp?
so yung rank po ng A is 2 and then the rank of A sharp is 3 kasi nagkaroon po, there's a 1
Uh,
in.
okay. So that's how we're going to be able to capture that scenario where there is a row that leads to a problem. Kasi zeros, and then suddenly on the other side, 1. Okay. So you see, may kinalaman nung rank of A sharp. If it's larger than the rank of A, then what's gonna happen there? The system is inconsistent. Pero ano natin to, pagsamasamahin natin to mamaya. And then here, in this, we had our very first example. What are the ranks of ito, A and A sharp?
So, so,
Actually, this is what we would get in the end. What are the ranks of A and A sharp?
so A is 3 and A sharp is also.
Parehong 3, right? Okay. So given the definition of A and A sharp is the augmented matrix. Question, is the rank of A versus the rank of A sharp, is it possible for the rank of A to be strictly greater than the rank of A sharp?
Kasi kung, yung, kung, so I
What you
think
think?
it's above, or is it? Um, think so po. I don't think so. I don't think it's
Okay,
possible.
so you're correct. This is no, that's impossible. Okay, it's not possible for the rank. It's not possible for A to have more non-zero rows than A sharp. Kasi A sharp, what it does is it adds one more column eh. And when you add one more column, posibleng nung last entry, in this case 1 na maipapasok, um, that entry is going to be either 0 or non-zero. Okay? If in place of this 1 here, okay, so ganito, two choices lang naman eh. Either that's going to be 0 or non-zero. If it's non-zero, then the ranks of A and A sharp are going to be the same. Sorry. If that's 0, there will be no difference. The ranks of A and A sharp would be the same, diba? If that highlighted entry is equal to 0. But on the other hand, if that highlighted entry is not equal to 0, then that would mean A sharp gains one more row which is non-zero. Okay? So therefore, it is a fact. Okay. So fact that the rank of A should be less than or equal to the rank of A sharp. Okay? Theorem. Consider the M by N linear system AX equals B. So, ano ibig sabihin ng M by N linear system? Ito, example, this this is not that, not that, kasi I guess it would be easier. Okay. Di ba when you see a matrix described as 3 by 4, that refers to the number of rows and the number of columns. So M would be the number of rows. That would pertain therefore to the number of equations. And N, the number of columns. But actually, we're referring to the matrix of coefficients, not the augmented matrix. So N here would refer to the number of variables. So M by N linear system. So this means A is M by N. Or in other words, there are M equations and N variables. Okay. What do you think, Joshua, is the situation which leads to an inconsistent system? Parang describe that scenario in terms of the ranks of A and A sharp.
Eh,
When's that going to happen in terms of the ranks of A and A sharp that there is no solution, that the system is inconsistent? If the rank of ito, look at that example. 1, 2, 3, 6, 0, 1, 2, 4, 0, 0, 1. Inconsistent system yan, di ba?
So if ano nga po, if the rank of A is greater than the rank.
All right, all right. Sorry, I just didn't hear that. So the rank of A is less than the rank of A sharp. Then the system is inconsistent. From the question I raised earlier, if the ranks of A and A sharp are not equal to each other, the only way that could happen is that A has a strictly lower rank. And in that case, the system is inconsistent. On the other hand, so we are left with only this possibility. The rank of A is equal to the rank of A sharp, then that is something that we encountered here. Ito, dito sa merong UVWXYZ, there are infinitely many solutions. Ranks of A and A sharp are both 4. But also in this case where we had a unique solution, the very first example here, as you can see, the ranks of A and A sharp are both 3. So if the ranks are equal, then the system is consistent. But of course, we wish to be able to point out when is there a unique solution and when will there be infinitely many solutions. That would have to depend on ito, ganito. Balik tayo dito. UVWXYZ. Okay. How many variables are there?
5. So ano?
Wait, how many variables? 5?
6.
N is equal to
6 po.
6. And then the common value of the ranks of A and A sharp?
4.
4. Then let's look at this scenario where there is a unique solution. Okay. What are the ranks of A and A sharp? And it should be the same value because the system is consistent. It's equal to
Equal to 3 po.
3. And how many variables are there?
3.
3. So when the common value of the ranks of A and A sharp are equal to the number of variables, in other words, the number of leading ones is the same as the number of variables, then that means we can solve for each variable exactly. So that means there is a unique solution. Okay. So back to the theorem. So suppose the system is consistent and the ranks of A and A sharp are the same. Okay. First bullet point, if the rank of A equals n, then there is a unique solution. But then if the rank of A is strictly less than n, what's going to happen is there are infinitely many solutions. Okay? Ito nung example natin. Okay? Rank of A and of A sharp equal to 4. N is equal to 6. There are 6 variables, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. N, which is 6, is strictly larger than 4. What's the difference? The difference is 2. And that too manifests itself in the fact that V and Z can be assigned V and Z can be, we assign them the values R and S. Okay. 6 minus 4 equals 2 led to the two free parameters R and S that we assigned to the variables V and Z. Okay, so in general, when n is strictly greater than the rank of A, which is also the rank of A sharp, there are going to be infinitely many solutions. And in fact, the solution, okay, will be expressed using n minus the rank of A free parameters. All right. Parang mangyayari, if the ranks of A and N were equal, this difference will be zero. So wala tayong free parameters that can be assigned. Ibig sabihin, forced tayo to conclude what the values of the variables are going to be. We're not going to have any flexibility. Okay. Is it possible for N to be greater than the rank of A? Ito kaya posible?
More variables than equations, so it's very possible.
Yeah, I guess possible naman. Oh wait, hold on. Sorry. N greater than the rank of A. I meant ganito pala. Sorry. I should follow rank of A greater than N.
For equations na possible. So I'm not sure maybe yung isa will not do anything. Kasi parang dalawang kung makakakot, there are two peoples and one of them is fake. So, mamamatay yun. I think, yes. Kung pareho po sila, so magiging disregard yung isa, pero or wala siyang solution. Or naman, kung the last term is different, can lead to a solution.
Or
Yes
at
po,
least
possible.
rank A greater than N. Okay. So ito, let's ignore the augmented matrix ha. Rank A greater than N. So let's say, are you thinking, let's say N is equal to 3. Tapos the rank of A is equal to 4. Pero kasi if N is equal to 3, so you have X, Y, Z. Tapos rank of A is equal to 4. Pero kasi mangyayari, Um, so you're looking at four non-zero rows, and again, this is in reduced echelon form, huh? Reduced echelon form. So as soon as you find a leading one, you should be able to use that to eliminate the non-zero entries in the same column as the leading one. Pero kasi if n is equal to 3, that's the number of variables, then that means we have at most n leading ones. Given the value of n, so this would mean at most n leading ones. Okay? And when you have n leading ones, halimbawa, ito, a leading one and a leading one, then you're looking only at the augmented matrix and you have, well, can we have four leading ones in this case where you have x, y, z? Because if there are three leading ones already, all right, parang mazizero mo na yun eh, o fourth row eh, if it's reduced echelon form. So the answer is, do you agree? No. Rank A. Again, A is in reduced echelon form. So that's why it's enough to look only at. So basically, the situations we've written down, they are the only situations. Okay. What I'd like you to try. Okay. Try mo the following: x plus a y plus a squared z equals 1. Then x plus a y plus abz equals a, and then bx plus a squared y plus a squared bz equals a squared b. So system of three equations in three unknowns. Find, so, and then instead of there being only one mystery number, there are two. So find a, b, so that the system has, and then as usual, let me copy. Yan. Hala, hindi pa rin nag-a-appear nung sinulat mo. Okay, kasi we haven't done this in a long time, di ba? Ng mga copy-paste.
Because it's
Siyempre,
done.
siyempre, we have to do it. Isn't that nice, Joshua? We're copy-pasting. Okay, isn't this such
It's very it's a very pleasant, ano po, very pleasant experience.
yeah, yeah. Isn't this a clear manifestation of us not being lazy?
Opo,
Okay.
it's a very efficiency
Uh,
and true power. It's not
ito,
showing.
so you can try it out. But Joshua, be careful ha. Halimbawa kasi when you write down the augmented matrix, 1, 1, B, and then A, A squared, and then A squared, AB, and then A squared B, and then, okay, 1, A squared B. Now, I guess what I wanted to say is, let's say you have an, kunwari, 0, 2, 4, and then 6. It's so easy to write down 1/2 row 3. And that is a valid row operation. But Joshua, I need you to be careful because what if, let's say the last row is 0, C, 4, 6. If you would write down the row operation as being 1 over C R3, do you see the problem? There is an issue because you're looking to divide by C. And if you're looking to divide by C, do you see the issue there?
So, zero over
What
zero.
if C is,
Zero.
yeah, what if C is 0? What if C is equal to 0? So you'd have to uh, look into two separate cases. The case where C is equal to 0 and C is not equal to 0. But at least when C is equal to 0, then you would have 0, 0, 4, 6 there already in the last row. And then when C is not equal to 0, then go ahead, do 1 over C times row number 3 if C is not equal to 0. Okay?
You're sure po na it's not equal to zero.
So I just wanted you to be mindful of that because we're seeing many different expressions involving A and B. So do not be casual with dividing by A squared or A squared B kasi what if 0 yon? Okay? So ito,
Opo.
just to tie up some of the things that we have covered, let's here's me writing down some theorems and then let's try to fill in the blanks. Suppose a consistent suppose an m by n linear system is consistent. If n is greater than m, so what do you think can we conclude here? An m by n linear system is consistent. So actually, because it's consistent, then the ranks of A and A sharp are equal to each other. So there are only two scenarios remaining. Either there is a unique solution or there are infinitely many solutions. But the difference lies in whether the rank of A is equal to n or the rank of A is strictly less than n. Because if the rank of A is strictly less than n, then there are free parameters and there would be infinitely many solutions. If the rank of A equals n, then there is a unique solution. M by n linear system, we have m equations and n variables. And in particular, the number of variables exceeds the number of equations. And we are given the bonus fact the system is consistent. Isip tayo halimbawa, m is equal to 3 and n is equal to 4. So, question natin, nung rank of A, is it less than 4? Or is it possible that the rank of A can be equal to 4? But keep in mind, we only have 3 equations.
So so there are three equations, but then there are more variables than equations. So we cannot know there are infinite number of solutions po.
Yes, there's
There
going to be
is there's
infinitely
no
many
unity.
solutions. And then the system has infinitely many solutions. All right. I didn't point it out earlier, but now I'm gonna point it out now. Fact is that the rank of A is less than or equal to M, and the rank of A is also less than or equal to M. Let's look at the first inequality. The rank of A, by definition, is the number of non-zero rows. But what is M again? The number of equations. And so therefore, M is the number of rows. So naturally, M corresponds to all the rows that you have. How many rows you have, including the non-zero rows and the zero rows. Tapos ng rank of A, parang part lang siya. The rank of A is the number of non-zero rows. So therefore, the rank of A is less or equal to M. And then on the other hand, the rank of A will be less than or equal to M because, well, what's going to happen is that the rank of A, the number of non-zeros, will correspond to how many leading ones you have. But then the number of leading ones would correspond to, well, variables. And then some variables would be free parameters. You can assign them R, S, or T. And then the other variables would have leading ones. So the rank of A is less than or equal to M. So using this fact, okay, because proof, the rank of A is less than or equal to M. And the problem tells us that M is less than N, then the rank of A, because it cannot exceed M, the rank of A must be less than M. So because the system is consistent, then there are infinitely many solutions, which you were already able to figure out anyway. Infinitely many solutions. Okay. A special kind of linear system is when the coefficients b are all zeros. For example, you have 2x plus 3y minus 4z equals 0, 4x plus 7y plus 9z is equal to 0. So it's all zeros here. The linear system ax equals b is said to be a homogeneous system or homogeneous if b is 0. And of course, b isn't a number, but it's actually a column matrix. So when we say b is equal to 0, then that means you have a column, all of whose entries are 0. Okay. Question. Does a homogeneous system like this have a solution?
Yes.
Can you give me one solution? One solution.
One solution. So let's say, so this is 0.
There's actually an obvious solution here.
So, so an obvious solution, 0.
0, 0, 0. Yes. Okay. So is a homogeneous system, can it possibly be inconsistent? Meaning no solution?
Possible.
Is it possible for a homogeneous system to have no solution?
Impossible mo.
Impossible, because you always have the trivial 0 solution. So that means as soon as you have a homogeneous system, it's always consistent. Okay. A homogeneous linear system.
Is there a difference between yung homogeneous and homogeneous?
Homogeneous. They're the same. sometimes they're spelled without an E, sometimes with an E. Okay, but in books and references, it's always Neous. I actually don't know.
Opo.
Okay. I mean, okay. So anyway, a homogeneous linear system AX equals zero is consistent. Okay, consistent in terms of the rank. It's a quick proof. This is because uh, how does the rank of A and A sharp compare to each other?
Dapat nga po A sharp is greater than or equal to rank A.
But let's say we have a homogeneous system.
So then uh, rank A. So the
The last
augment
column.
is always zero. So sabihin,
Mhm.
can never be yung case na rank A sharp is greater than rank A.
Yeah.
So that
Uh, so they're always equal. Alright. It's because of the homogeneity. In the augmented matrix, the last column would all be zeros. So hindi pwedeng makalamang si A sharp ng rank. Kasi that's only gonna happen nga when ito, ng example na to. Okay. Lalamang si A sharp ng rank if you have that column 641 where 1 that's highlighted is matched with zeros in its row. Pero kasi mangyayari, you have 0, 0, 0, and then 0, not 1. So, as you can see in this theorem, rank of A being strictly less than the rank of A sharp, never going to happen. And as in number 2, A and A sharp will have the same rank, so the system is consistent. So, for a homogeneous system, either there is a unique solution or there are infinitely many solutions for a homogeneous system. So those are the two possibilities. Okay. And then, you know, these are statements that I don't really try to remember for their sake, but I'm only presenting them as an opportunity to try to analyze systems. Parang we're trying to be comfortable, okay, in an M by N homogeneous linear system. There is a conclusion that can be drawn if n is greater than m.
if there are more variables than equations.
Mhm.
There's one solution nga po na, and there's an infinite number of wait lang,
So
variables.
yeah,
So it's infinite number of solutions po. Okay.
okay, automatic. Okay, hindi mangyayari ng unique solution. So in fact, you're able to argue, and that's correct based on the number of equations and the number of solutions. But also, okay, kasi mangyayari, remember, what's gonna happen is that m is not gonna be exceeded by the rank. So that
Opo.
means the rank of A will be strictly less than n, which means that we have infinitely many solutions. There are infinitely many solutions. Awesome. Tapos, in fact, for a homogeneous system, okay, so given, okay, linear system, AX equals 0, if X equals V is a solution. And again, when we write down a linear system as AX equals 0, we don't mean the number A multiplied by the number X equals the number 0. So as I showed you earlier, these are matrices. A is the matrix of coefficients, and it doesn't have to be a square matrix, huh? It doesn't have to be a square matrix. The number of equations and the number of variables can be different. And then nung zero, that's a column of zeros kasi nga homogeneous system. And then when I say x equals v, so v is a column of constants. So if x is equal to v and it's a solution, if x equals v is a solution, okay, then um, x equal to rv is also a solution for any real number r. Do you agree? Yes or no?
Solution, then it's also solution for.
Mhm. So say you have A is equal to A, B, C, D, and then X equals so V is equal to M N. So that means A, B, C, D multiplied by M N is indeed equal to 0, 0. So that's a check mark. So my question is, if you take V, the column vector Mn, and multiply it by some number R, for example, R is equal to 3. So then if you look at 3V, that will be 3M, 3M. My question, is this also going to be a solution, something that we can replace X with, and you would still get 0, 0 on the right side? Is 3V still a solution? Yes or no? Well, let's see. Okay? Kasi mangyayari, A, B, C, D, and then 3M, 3M. Pero kasi nung 3, that's a scalar, you can take it out, di ba? But then when you multiply these two, what will you get?
So, makukuha po
0,
yung
0 pa rin, di ba?
naglabo. So, hindi actually.
So you would still get 0, 0. So that means the answer to the question is 3V a solution still? The answer is yes. In general naman, if V is a solution,
Be a solution.
so A V is equal to 0, then let's have a look at A times 3V. But nothing special about 3, so let me use R. Or just like what was done above, R can be taken out because it's just a scalar, a real number. So the real multiplication action is happening in A times V. Pero A times V is going to be the column of zeros. And when you multiply a column of zeros with R, the entries are all going to be still 0. Okay? So if you have a solution to a homogeneous system, then multiply that by any other number, the result is still going to be a solution. Okay, so far, and then we'll wrap up soon. Kasi 4:30 na eh, right? So Joshua, does this mean a homogeneous system will have infinitely many solutions? Kasi if it's like saying, if I have a solution to a homogeneous system, if I multiply that by any number of which I have infinitely many choices, then the resulting products, they're also going to be solutions. So does it mean there's always going to be infinitely many solutions to a homogeneous linear system?
No. Mhm. So, okay. Kung mga po, if you multiply by 3, tapos if you divide it naman po, so the zero on the other side will not change.
Mhm.
So, in fact nga po, I think, hindi man po infinitely many. Hmm.
Yes or no?
For me, something seems wrong po eh.
Parang lagi bang okay, alam natin homogeneous system consistent. Laging may solution. Because you always have the trivial solution. But does it mean there's always going to be infinitely many solutions? Kasi
Hindi po
gaya
siguro.
dito, hindi.
But
Okay, actually the answer
yung
is,
trivial lang po yung solution.
ano yun, sorry?
And the trivial solution is the only solution.
Yeah, oo, right, right. Kasi posible pa rin ng unique. A unique solution. And if there is a unique solution, that solution is the trivial solution. By trivial solution, we mean 0, 0. Okay? So in fact, a homogeneous linear system, AX equal to 0 is consistent. What did I write here? Consistent? Ano yun? Okay. Consistent. Okay. Note. Okay. X equals 0 is always a solution. And we're going to refer to this as the trivial solution. Okay. The trivial solution. Okay, but back to the question, does it mean a homogeneous linear system will have infinitely many solutions? Which seems to be the suggestion here, because say if V is a solution, then RV is also a solution. Pero kasi naman, if V is the zero vector, if V is the zero vector, then RV will always be the zero vector. So kahit anong non-zero number R ang i-multiply mo, and even though you might have infinitely many choices for R, but the product RV would always be babalik tayo dun sa trivial solution. Okay, babalik tayo dun sa trivial solution. So, ayun, as far as homogeneous linear system is concerned, either you only have the trivial solution or there are infinitely many solutions. And if there are infinitely many solutions, of course, andun pa rin in that set of solutions, the trivial solution, and there would be other non-zero solutions. Pero magiging infinitely many kasi if 1, 2 is a solution, then actually any number, any vector R2R would also be a solution. Or you could multiply 1 and 2 by any number you could think of. Okay, so we'll do more of systems of equations, but do try ito, this one. Okay?
Ay,
So isa
brand
lang muna.
dito naka-intimidate ako so rinibrand na po yung
Sorry, what's that?
rinibrand nyo na po yung famous green box.
Oh, yeah, oh. Oh, sige, babalikan natin some other time. Pero ang hindi talaga natin makakalimutan ng copy-paste. Kasi hindi yan mawawala. Uy, ayun! Finally, there's progress. Meron nang nag-appear. Bigyan natin ng, ng 2 months. Magkukumpleto yan.
Deputy si Joshua eh.
Oh, pero parang nung internet lang. Bigyan lang natin ng pagkakataon. Alright, Joshua. Hi, RJ. Have a good afternoon.
Sige po.
Kayo rin po.
Bye.
Bye po.